What a difference a year makes. Last year, which you will see in the first video that I'm going to do you remember those illegals being their normal self, being violent, doing the things that illegals do, busting down the barrier and attacking the folks that were guarding our border? Well, now a year later, we've got a whole bunch of deputized National Guard working with the Border Patrol. It's a year's difference. Just, we have to remember every time that we vote what it was like having the Democrats in power in this country. We've got to remember that when we go to the ballot box. But after a short introduction, we're going to see what it was like a year ago. Well, actually, it wasn't even a year ago. This is March of 2025. This is from May of 2024.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Today, tensions continue as the State Guard has deployed an additional number of troops to the banks of the Rio Grande. This video shows soldiers deploying behind barbed wire fence, and the fence near Ascarate Park and Riverside Elementary was rebuilt overnight after a group of around 500 migrants tore down a section on Thursday and barreled through the Guard members.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection tells us the migrants that forced their way in yesterday are being processed in accordance to Title VIII authority, which could result in their removal and loss of future immigration benefits. And like we just said, hundreds of migrants forced their way through that razor wire fence, pushing past Border Patrol agents trying to hold them off.
NBC's Priscilla Thompson has been covering the situation, and she has the latest.
This morning, tensions escalating on the Texas border. Dramatic new video shows a struggle between Border Patrol and migrants in El Paso. The video shows dozens of migrants pulling aside a razor wire fence, then pushing their way past a handful of Border Patrol agents. The migrants were eventually stopped a short time later by a steel fence, where border agents and Texas DPS contained the situation and processed the 400 to 600 migrants. Governor Greg Abbott posting on social media that after the incident, law enforcement quickly regained control and are redoubling the razor wire barriers, while urging Texas DPS to arrest those involved for criminal trespass and destruction of property. Earlier this week, video captured in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, shows migrants placing blankets over a similar barbed wire fence to protect themselves as they pass through. This all comes as the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals heard arguments this week about the controversial Texas bill SB 4. The bill would allow local authorities in Texas to arrest migrants suspected of crossing illegally and empower state judges to order deportations back to Mexico. The Supreme Court allowed the bill to go into effect for hours on Tuesday, only for the law to be paused again upon appeal. The circuit court judges appearing skeptical.
This is the first time, it seems to me, that a state has claimed that they have the right to remove illegal aliens.
States outside of Texas are also feeling pressure to get involved at the border. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says he won't send National Guard troops to the border, despite calls from his Republican-led legislature.
The last thing in the world I'm going to do is put the brave women and men of the Pennsylvania National Guard's lives at risk to be part of some political squabble at the border.
Okay, you saw, just as a reminder of what the normal illegal procedure is. Be violent, be something that the Democrats can praise. So, now we're going to look at, I'm going to show you 3 short clips. We're going to see what is happening at the border now. How the Border Patrol is working with the Texas National Guard on all levels to control the border. We've got our military going down there. We've got the Texas National Guards there, Border Patrol, ICE. All of these folks are protecting the U.S. from these violent gang members, from these drug smugglers, from these human traffickers, from all of these people that have come into this country, such as the gentleman that crossed over the border, hung around for like a year and a half, then made it to he was supposedly from Mauritania, which is in Africa, and he goes into Chicago and he takes out a Jewish guy that was heading to synagogue, and they were thinking if the cops hadn't got there when they did, he would have been trying to take out more. So let's take a look at what is going on at the border now.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, in a historic moment for El Paso, 60 National Guard soldiers officially deputized under Title VIII, which grants the authority to perform immigration enforcement duties. Now, we were there at the ceremony took place and spoke with border officials about what this all means for the Sun City. For the first time in El Paso history, 60 National Guard soldiers were sworn in at the border, taking an oath to assist our Border Patrol agents apprehend and detain those crossing the border illegally, unlike before today, where they would only be able to monitor and wait for Border Patrol to take action.
Please raise your right hand.
Interim Chief Patrol Agent for the El Paso sector, Walter Schlosser, deputized all 60 National Guard soldiers under Title VIII.
We are proud to be here with you today, joined together in this historic positive trajectory.
So Title A means that we have the authority to apprehend those individuals crossing the border illegally.
The West Texas Regional Director for the Texas Department of Public Safety says these soldiers will be stationed wherever they are needed.
They're going to be located wherever Border Patrol needs them, so it's going to be high threat areas. That's all going to be determined by Border Patrol. You know, if we have an area such as Mount Crystal Ray has been a hot spot for a long time. If they feel the need that they need more manpower there, then they're going to direct those forces in that way.
But does this mean they're expected to patrol the streets?
No, they're not going to be in the streets. They're not going to be in black and white, so my troopers, that's not going to be happening. No, they're specifically assigned to help Border Patrol in securing the border.
On behalf of the U.S. Border Patrol, we are proud to be your brothers and sisters.
Even though border officials say border crossings are down 94% compared to this time last year, Sanchez says with more boots on the ground, they will be able to carry out their mission of protecting citizens.
They feel more secure. Having this presence around, gives them that security to feel like, I know nothing bad's going to happen in this area because we have this presence around.
Congratulations.
Now, we did reach out to Veronica Escobar's office, and they sent this statement reading in part, quote, a reminder that Texas National Guard, unlike Border Patrol, are not trained for immigration enforcement operations, aren't familiar with the intricacies of immigration law, and simply do not need to be deployed away from their families and homes so that Donald Trump and Greg Abbott can look tough, end quote.
Securing our border together. Over the last week, the Border Patrol Interim El Paso Chief Patrol Agent deputized dozens of Texas Army National Guard soldiers, granting them the authority to carry out immigration enforcement duties. Soldiers from the Texas Military Department took the oath, empowering them with Title VIII authority to support Border Patrol in its mission to enforce immigration laws. Sworn in and ready to serve. Now deputized, these Texas National Guard soldiers work lockstep with federal partners to secure the El Paso sector and uphold the rule of law along the U.S.-Mexico border.
We are here to assist state law enforcement officials in the apprehension of illegally crossing migrants. We predominantly work to support the Department of Public Safety out here in Texas, our state law enforcement agency, with the apprehension of migrants crossing illegally, as well as the interdiction of drug, weapons, and human smuggling. So when we're doing riverine patrol, one of the most important things that we can do is honestly sit and wait for any border patrol traffic that comes over the net. When we're waiting for that traffic confirmation to come over from Border Patrol, we'll do patrols up and down the riverbanks. We'll look on the U.S. side for any signs that someone's crossed the river. We'll look for what's called scout activity. What they're doing is they're scouting out our activity to inform the cartels that it's okay to push bodies, or if they need to adjust left and right to push those migrants. Interactions can vary day to day. Most of the time, whenever it's family units, these are people that don't want any trouble. We've also got some aggressive encounters that we've had. Other times we'll have encounters with the cartel. They can take pot shots at us. They can try and get into fist fights with us. It changes on a case-by-case basis.
I am so glad that we have this happening in our country now. We now have less concern with these folks coming in here to bring in drugs, to bring in what is basically slave labor. We no longer have to worry about all of this. Other nations are now complaining, oh, we haven't got the money to handle all this. Well, we didn't either. We've been going so far into debt it's not even funny. We can't even manage it without these people in this country. Thankfully, we're getting rid of them. You've got British news lying about what's going on, which is getting ridiculous. It's getting to the point where we have to remember every time we go to the ballot box who is willing to help us out. But I thought I'd just remind you of these things. And also, if you want to see more news like this, hit like, hit subscribe. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.